Hello, everyone. I'm Tony Waller with Walmart Corporate Affairs, and welcome to Walmart Wellness Live. So glad that you are with us today. I'm really excited because we're going to have a really awesome conversation around a subject that I think everyone should know more about, and that the subject is diabetes. And so I have with us two great guests that I cannot wait for you to meet. First, let me introduce you to Kevin Goins. Kevin is one of our pharmacists here at Walmart. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Tony? I'm so glad you had me. I'm so looking forward to just talking about easy ways to keep your diabetes in check.
I love it. I love it. And Kevin, I have to tell you, now you are an important guest here, and I love that you're with us. But let me tell you something. There's somebody else that I'm more excited about, and that's none other than Grammy winner, Hall of Famer, and someone who's living with type 2 diabetes. I'm talking about none other than the grande dame herself, Miss Patti LaBelle. Oh, Miss Patti, how are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here because I have a lot to talk about. Because I am a diabetic and I've been for 26 years. And all of the things that I've been through, I think they're worth listening to because it's some so great and so good, not all bad.
That's awesome, Miss Patty. And
That's
it's,
good.
it's true. Managing diabetes often means just unlearning old habits that we picked up along the way. Now, let's take it back to your diagnosis. You found out you had type 2 diabetes, and they told you that. Tell me something. What thoughts went through your mind when you heard that?
Well, first of all, I was performing very hard, touring forever, and I just thought I was exhausted from work. And we were performing, and I passed out on stage because I said, "Oh gosh, this tiredness has gotten me." They rushed me to the hospital. The doctor said, "You're type 2 diabetic. Did you know?" I said, "Of course not." And the reason I didn't know is because I wasn't a good doctor girl, like going to get checkups, which is so important for all of us to do. Get yourself checked before you get wrecked. And so when he told me that I had type 2 diabetes, I thought of everything: my mother, my uncle, my aunt, losing limbs, and going blind. And so I said, okay, this means that I have to change my whole way of living, which was not hard.
You're right about that. See, the symptoms of type 2 diabetes, they actually develop slowly over time. And to keep it honest, most people don't even know they even have it and can't even feel those symptoms. So, Miss Patty, let me ask you a question. Were you even feeling symptoms?
I felt no symptoms because I didn't know what diabetes should feel like. I just know that I tried helping my mother with her diet and not thinking that I would ever become a diabetic. So I had no symptoms that I knew. I never realized if I was urinating too much or eating too much, or I mean, there are a lot of symptoms, which you will tell them all, but I had no symptoms that I thought I didn't anyway.
And what you're saying is so true. That actually falls in line because, again, most people don't even know they even have it. But a lot of symptoms are what you just said: frequent urination, just constantly going to the restroom, always thirsty and just can't get enough water, constant hunger, extreme fatigue. And in your industry, you might not even noticed it. Blurred vision, wounds that sometimes just don't even heal, and even a tingling or numbness in the hands or
My
feet.
feet, yes. Never felt that. Never. So, and I have something to say also that I don't know how long I had it before I was diagnosed. And now I'm going on for 26 years with it. Yeah.
Well, there are some risk factors that people can pay attention to. So, people that are at high risk for diabetes include people that are in these groups right here: African American, Alaska Natives, American Indian, Asian American, Hispanic, Latino, Pacific Islanders. That group alone is at risk for type 2 diabetes. But then you got people that are 45 years and older. But in America, a big group here is obesity and just being overweight at risk for diabetes. And then lastly, high blood pressure and just people that are already in a family that has diabetes. Does mom have diabetes? Does dad have diabetes? Those people right there are already at risk.
Right. They're at risk. And I was at risk because most of my family had diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah, so what we're finding is that 1 in 10 people, about 34 million people, they've got diabetes. But what we're going to find is this year alone, another 1.5 million may be diagnosed with it.
Wow.
One thing I want to talk to you about, Miss Patty, today is pre-diabetes. That's that phase where their blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but they're not quite at the diabetic level yet. So the good news is this group can definitely be reversed if they have a low carb diet.
Oh, that helps. That helps, and that's what I've been doing. I mean, I was frying chicken and eating the whole chicken back in the day. I would do the mashed potatoes, the potato salad, which I still make for some people, but I know that I can't have it. You know, in moderation, I can taste it to see if it's perfect, but I have changed my eating habits like so. I'm so good at this now. You know, I eat foods that I eat now, and I have a gift of seasoning my food so well with habanero peppers, jalapeno peppers, because I'm a hot queen. So anything that I used to fry and make all kind of crazy ways, I spice it up, and it's great. It's so easy with diabetes, everybody. Don't be afraid.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You're right. Cooking food at home is like one of the best things you can do because there you can control what goes into your body. And right here at Walmart, we've got a lot of great fresh produce that can help cut down on the calories and just add good nutrients into our bodies. But making these little incremental changes, that's what makes people feel better and gives them energy. But I'm going to tell you, Miss Patty,
And
you're
the
not
thing
by
is,
yourself. You see,
something else,
even though
baby. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you something else. To check myself, before I wreck myself, on the road, I travel with my pots, pans, all the ingredients, and find a farmer's market to get the fish and the chicken and the veggies and all that. So I'm always checking my diabetes because I travel with pots. Yes.
I love it. I love it. And what you're saying is so true. Anytime we can just kind of substitute anything that's starchy with something green or choose something baked over fried, that right there is just going to keep us a lot more lean and take what could be pre-diabetes and bring it right on back to normal. That way, and one of
It
the best things
will.
you can do is stay active.
That's it.
Exercising. Oh my God, that is so amazing. That's one of the first things we can do to really control type 2 diabetes.
And that's what I'm very, very good at. Walking around the neighborhood with the dog. I can't swim, but I have a pool, so I kick all the time in the water. I I do. I have one of those treadmills, so I'm on that. And on stage is where I got all of my exercise. But you know, for the last 6 months, there's no stage shows because I used to roll on the floor and kick my shoes and do all that kind of jumping. And that sure helped me with my exercises. So I'm doing everything that I can for myself at home.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And for those who are watching, at least 2.5 hours of exercise every single week. That literally means 30 minutes a day. And I mean, if you're going to do walking, we're talking about that good walking that makes a little sweat, not that little mall walking, just kind of talking a little, but really getting into it. Jogging, swimming, and even resistance training. I'll tell you this, since COVID-19 happened, I'm doing like a couple of hundred push-ups every day at home. I'm doing sit-ups and even just air squats. In fact, even if I was not on this Zoom, let me tell you, when you're on Zoom and you're just sitting at your desk, I'd even be squatting just in between so you're not being sedentary. If you or any of our viewers have any questions about diabetes, your pharmacist or Walmart, we're here to help you and give you answers.
Hey, Kevin, Miss Patty, this is really great information. And I'm so glad that you have shared with us things that we can do at home to help control the possibility of us getting diabetes. And so thank you for sharing that. Now, I want to talk with you all and ask you all a few questions. I've got some questions for some of our Walmart customers. So let's go with the first one. Is there anything that I can do to prevent getting diabetes?
Absolutely. Personal
Kevin?
story, true story. I was 90 pounds overweight. I was headed towards diabetes. And one of the first things I did, I literally had to watch my portions. I live in Texas. Everything is big in Texas. I cut everything in half. Then I joined one of those groups where you kind of watch our weight. And what I learned how to do was watch my carbs and sugars. Now, because I was so heavy, I didn't want to go to the gyms. So what I did is bought that P90X, kind of worked out at home. But what I found is working out at home, cutting my portions and watching the carbs and sugars, 6 pounds one week, 8 pounds one week, 2 pounds one week, and before you know it, my pre-diabetic state, all of a sudden I went back to normal. So if you watch your portions, exercise, and then watch what kinds of food goes in your body, it can take diabetes from going into full blown back to normal. I'm a living witness.
I love that.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
I
is
know that's
awesome.
true. Wonderful.
That is really awesome. Yeah, man. Hey,
Thank you.
you got me. You got me inspired. That's a beautiful thing. So Kevin, I got another question for you. What is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
That's a great question, and we kind of hear that all the time. So, type 1 diabetes, that's just when the body is not making insulin. And that's usually a small group of people, about 5 to 10%. They literally don't have any insulin at all. And insulin is that hormone that actually helps move that sugar down so that it's not too much sugar in the bloodstream flowing. But type 2 diabetes, this is what most of Americans kind of can control. Most times this is weight driven, or we have a lot of bad habits, eating a lot of processed foods. And this when sometimes the behaviors that we do, it causes the insulin not to act right, or is not necessarily making enough. And so that's when type 2 diabetes kicks into gear. But that's one that we can truly manage if we actually watch what we do and just kind of learn new habits that can promote proper weight.
Yeah, because that's what I was doing before I was diagnosed. I was eating cheesecake, all kind of ice cream, the pizza, the everything. And I realized by doing that, I became a type 2 diabetic. So you got to watch your stuff now, people, before you catch it. It is, it's easy to get away from it. Yes.
Exactly. That's those foods that's high in calories but don't really have a lot of nutritional value.
Yes.
So just to add on to what we were just talking about, here's another question from one of our customers, and I'm going to direct this to Miss Patty. The question is, and you've kind of started down this already for us, but I want to continue with it. What role does diet and exercise play in developing type 2 diabetes?
My goodness, if you did that all the time, a perfect diet, knowing what not to touch and not to put in your mouth, and walking and doing everything that you can to keep yourself moving, blood flowing, and exercising. And the main thing is not to put the wrong food in your body. And you'll live longer, sugar. You will. You don't have to get diabetes. I didn't have to get it, but I did because I was greedy for the wrong things, satisfying my spirit with things that I shouldn't have had. So don't do what I did. Don't.
Sounds good, Miss Patty. I'm going to personally take that advice. And with that, I want to ask another question, which leads right into what we're talking about here from one of our customers. And I know that you, Miss Patty, can help us with this because, Lord have mercy, what I have seen you do from a cooking standpoint is miraculous. So here's my question for you. Here's the question from our audience. Is there a number one rule of cooking when you have diabetes?
You don't cook with fat back, ham hocks, all the things that we're used to. You can leave that chitlin alone. You can just leave away all the stuff that we know, like grits with the butter and the cream or whatever. Let it go, honey. The omelets with the ham, eggs, and bacon. You don't need it. Just put some grapeseed oil in a pan, scramble an egg with some kind of healthier cheese if you like. But my kick always is to have habanero peppers in my savory foods, and that helps me a lot. So you can learn to cook easy and better. Steam food instead of frying it, baking, broiling, all that good stuff. And it tastes just as good. Trust me.
So that's awesome. I'm going to remember this. I'm writing all this stuff
You better
down.
remember
I'm
it.
going to steam it.
Yes.
I'm going to steam instead of fry, right? I'm going
Uh-huh.
to
And a
incorporate
lot of
other types
salads.
of oils. Lots of
Yes.
salads, lots of fruits and
Lots of
vegetables.
salads.
I'm definitely going to do
Yes.
that.
See, we can't do
So that's
many
it's
fruits. I can't do many fruits because of the sugar intake. So I have to leave the watermelon alone as much as possible. The bananas, everything has too much sugar for me. So I do veggies more than fruit.
So we're going to throw in a lot of veggies in there, lots of
Uh-huh.
colorful, beautiful vegetables that we could use.
Oh,
I
yeah.
promise you, I'm going to do this well. You're going to be proud of me, Miss Patty. You're going to be
I'm
really
proud of
proud
you
of me.
already because your mind is right.
Oh, thank you so much. Miss Patty, Kevin, this was great. Thank you so much for the awesome
Yay!
conversation that we've had today. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh,
I
good.
don't know about the audience out there, but I sure am going to live better because of what you all have taught us today. And so I thank you for that. To
Thank
those
you.
watching, please, if there are any additional questions that you might have, please feel free to check out our Facebook page. If you have any other additional questions that we weren't able to answer for you, please go to our Facebook page where you can go ahead and enter those questions and we will try to get answers to you. To all of our viewers, always remember your local Walmart pharmacists. Don't forget them. They are good people, so wonderful, professional, and willing to help. They not only are preparing prescriptions for you, but they can also help you with answering any questions that you might have. They can help you with immunizations. They can help you with just providing some advice and counsel. So don't forget that they are a good resource for you. Always remember, though, with our limited shopping hours these days, make sure to call our stores to make sure that they're open or check the website to make sure that our stores are open. And then always to our seniors, always remember that we have special hours for you on Tuesdays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We're open especially for you, and our pharmacists will be there. Now, we are watching from our Walmart Wellness Hub. Check it out. There's some really great information on this hub. You don't want to miss out on it. So, good information that you can use. I know we had some great conversation here. All the points that we talked about, much of it is referenced on our site. So check it out to get some more information. And last but not least, I just want you all to stay healthy out there. Be careful. Do what you're supposed to do. Let's eat better. Let's exercise. And don't forget to take your flu shot. Okay? Awesome. Thank you all very, very much and have a great day.